All right, we're back. I was a touch under the weather this week. When the voice isn't 100%, it's tough to get out videos, but boy, I have a lot to say. We're going to have the full review of the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 later in the week, and I really do like the device. I think the Exynos 2500 is a capable chipset. I don't understand people who are complaining about the power on this particular device. I really don't get that at all. But there is one area where I'm incredibly disappointed with Samsung. And I had the hands-on at Galaxy Unpacked, and I was trying to play with the cover display or the flex window, whatever they want to call it. And I kind of had a hint that this was the case, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get my hands on and see if this is actually true, if we still have to do this stuff. I was hoping against hope that on One UI 8 on the Galaxy Z Flip 7 that we would no longer be required to use Good Lock or Labs or Multi-Star, any of this stuff in order to get apps to work properly on the outer display of the Galaxy Z Flip 7. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And I don't want to hear it from enthusiasts. I really don't. Because I can already tell, like, the first comments are going to be, oh, it's been like this for forever now. It takes 5 or 10 minutes. Enthusiasts understand that. You just go in, it's second nature. When you're setting up the phone, you set it up. You got to do the default view on the Motorola. I don't care. I don't care. Because you have to spend that 10 minutes. And it's not like it's a streamlined process. It's not the most intuitive to set up the apps on the outer display of the Galaxy Z Flip 7. And if this were a device just geared towards enthusiasts, I could understand maybe making a case on why that needed to be. But it's not just geared towards enthusiasts. Think about the influencers that Samsung sent this out to. Think about the people that Samsung hopes get their hands on a Galaxy Z Flip 7. That's because it's the more attainable foldable. That's because it's the one that makes more sense for people. And you got this gorgeous outer 4.1-inch display on the cover screen this year. You know what? I'm usually not somebody who cares about bezels. I wouldn't care if there were bezels, but I will give credit where credit is due. Very thin on the outside of this device. Really nice. Really nice to look at. Really nice. You feel like you're just holding a display in your hand, and it's really cool to look at and to use. But once again, like the Galaxy Z Flips of years past, I'm using it just like I would a giant smartwatch display with just a bunch of widgets on the outer screen. And that's exactly what I don't want to be doing. That's what I want to avoid. But that's what I'm forced to do with the way Samsung sets up this display. I'll get to the notifications. Okay, that's frustrating as well. I hate that there's just an orange dot here. I wish that the always on display, you could set it up where you could get kind of the icon. I know you could go into certain things. There's a bunch of different settings, but it's too complicated. You have to go to too many different programs, and it's just not something that's built for the average user. Let's just talk about the just default apps that Samsung will give you. If you enable apps on the cover display, you get Maps, you get Messages, you get WhatsApp, and you get YouTube. That's what you get, right? But to get that, it's not there by default. What's there by default? These things, okay? Alarm, calculator, ooh, really useful. All these super helpful things that are on the cover display. What do you got to do? Well, you got to open it up, okay? You got to go into Settings. Then you got to go to Labs, okay? Then we find it's going to take an hour and a half to find Labs. I don't know why. I don't know how hard it is. There we go, Labs. Then we're going to go down to, where was it? What was I looking at? Flex, multi-window, or Labs, sorry. Labs. Then I got to go to Use Main Screen Navigation on Cover Screen and Apps Allowed on Cover Screen. And then you activate that, okay? So you're going to go to Labs, then you go to Allowed, and then you go in here, and you can have a few. Netflix is the other one. Then you go down here. You go to Multi-Star. So you get Multi-Star. But you're not doing it from the Play Store. You're not doing it from any of these things. You're doing it from the Samsung store. So then you're going to go into there, and then you're going to set up these after you download Good Lock. You're going to go into Good Lock. You're going to go into your launcher widget on Multi-Star, and you're going to set up the different apps that you want. But the thing that annoys me even more is that you go here, okay? You go in, you scroll through, Maps. I won't pull it up because it'll give my address and stuff like that. But if you do Maps on the Labs portion of the outer display, you don't get the little toggle in order to change the view easily. So a lot of the screen is cut off. But if you go into maps over here, you do get that toggle, and I'll show it on Instagram. But you get this little toggle, much like holding the navigation button on your Motorola Razr Ultra will change the view. You could just kind of go ahead and sit through here, which is actually very useful and very nice. But it's one too many steps to get there. And you're just not going to get there intuitively for most users. Yes, they got the little lead for the multi-star down there, but most people aren't going to bother. Most people aren't even going to make it to the first step where you're setting up labs. The other thing that annoys me about the cover display is, let's say I want to add another tile. I want to add another tile, so I go in here and I go in open phone to continue. The amount of things that you have to open your phone for just to be able to edit stuff on the external display is not intuitive. Samsung needs a complete rethink on how they do the flex window on these devices, because it's not the way that Motorola does it. It's not the way it should be done. And the reason why it frustrates me this year in particular is because this is a really nice implementation. This is a really nice form factor. It's not it's a bit more of a conversation than I thought between the Motorola Razr Ultra and something like the Galaxy Z Flip 7. That's a comparison that we're going to have here. But I do like what's here. If you're already somebody who likes your Galaxy Z Flip 6 or Z Flip 5, as Hello Kitty takes a dive, you're going to like what you get here, because it's a much better version of what you have already been using. However, if you're somebody that's never picked up a foldable before, you're looking at these like, geez, this is a nice coral color. It's gorgeous. We got the color matched frame. It's about roughly what I'd pay. It's probably less. It's less than what I'd pay on a Galaxy S25 Ultra. I see some of these around finally. You know, I see people walking around with them. I see they're taking selfies with the cover display. Let me go ahead and plunk down and actually get one of these. That's who you're attracting with these. So you have to cater to that individual and that customer as much as the enthusiast who's watching 15 videos on a phone they're never going to buy. That's what Samsung has been missing in the past few years with the Galaxy Z Flip Fold, Z Flip series, and the Z Fold series. That's what Samsung does not seem to grasp that Motorola grasps fully. Understand who the customer is. You could get away with this stuff on the Z Fold series. Why? Because it's a $2,000 phone. And there's not a lot of casuals walking into AT&T or going on Amazon and say, you know what? Give me the $2,000 phone so I could just watch Instagram or scroll Instagram all day and watch Netflix. That's what's happening. You're going to get somebody who buys this because of the style. You're going to get somebody who buys this because it's nice and compact in the hand, but they're not sacrificing that much of the full smartphone experience when they need and they can open it up. But at the same time, you have to understand what that entails. And you have to tailor the software experience to that user. So that means enhancing and improving what we get on the cover display. This was the good part about all this is that it's software. So this can be fixed. Whether it's One UI 8, whether it's One UI 9, I don't buy really Samsung's, I don't even know if it's Samsung's argument anymore, but I really don't buy that they're protecting the integrity and the app integrity and the user experience, and they don't want a bunch of, I tell you what, I could set up apps on my Motorola Razr devices in seconds, and I have run into maybe 1 or 2 incompatibilities the entire 3 years now I've been using Motorola Razrs. Not worth the hassle. Not worth the walled garden that Samsung puts up. Not worth the 2-step process of going into labs to just allow the few apps that they allow, and then going into Multistar, going into GoodLock, and then adding the other apps to be able to use it. And it's a nice experience on the outer display. This is a major selling point of the device. But I don't know whether Samsung just doesn't trust it or whatever it happens to be, but I think they really have to get with it and start doing stuff that allows people to more easily, casuals, novice users, people who aren't going to understand, to go online and watch videos. I think they need to do stuff that kind of really helps out and get you making the most of your outer display, because it is a really nice outer display. It does compete with the Motorola Razr Ultra. It does look fantastic. It looks cool, and people pick it up. It's like, oh, it's almost all display. Yeah, this is fantastic. Now give us the software experience that matches that. Give us the tools we need on this outer display to make it as powerful as it can be. Because if you just know to turn on labs and you don't know that you're going to go in and add maps again, the maps experience is substandard compared to what it should be. Maybe there's some sort of combo, I don't know, in order to get them to whatever, but it's just not what it should be. It's not as easy as the Good Lock launcher here. And it's just frustrating. Anytime you want to change something, you want to go in here. I wanted to add a photo. I had to open up the phone again. It was just too many things that I had to do that were either opening the phone or weren't intuitive to do on the outer display. And I'm frustrated. You guys know, when I'm frustrated about something, it's because I see potential. This phone has the potential to be really, really, really good. It's the best Z Flip Samsung's put out. Not exactly a high bar, especially given the cover displays on those other devices. But this could be a legitimate competitor, and something if you're looking at like $1,000 price range, a sale, $900, $800, you're going to want to jump all over this. Great software support, all the rest of it. Nice outer display, nice inner display, DeX, finally. Decent battery life. These are a lot of things why you want to pick one of these up. Finally, kind of stylish, right? So there's a lot of reasons why you want to pick it up. I just wish that the outer display software experience matched what we were going to get on this entire nice, sleek package on the Galaxy Z Flip 7. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve Delicious day.